In this video, I'm going to share with you 3 secrets to writing your memoir that will hook and hold your reader. Now, these 3 secrets, or actually techniques, are the original virtual reality experience. Hello, I'm Brenda, and I'm here to help you to write your memoir so that you can hook and hold your reader. I love to teach memoir, and so I have free mini courses on my YouTube channel. I have other videos there as well, and I have an online course to help you to blueprint your memoir from premise to promise, so that you know what the structure is of your memoir and what is required before you even start. Do look in the description below this video for the link that will give you more information on this course. So how do we give the reader that virtual reality experience that will hook and hold them? And it starts with realizing that you are your reader avatar. The minute the reader opens your book, it's going to be like the virtual reality goggles. They're going to try your life on for size, your experiences, your happenings, even your emotions and your feelings. In the time that it takes them to read your book, they will be you. So how do we give them this original virtual reality experience? We do it by applying these 3 writing techniques. 1, put your reader in your head. 2, put your reader in your skin. And 3, put your reader in your eyeballs. And we do this by immersing the reader in what we're thinking, what we're feeling, and how we see the world. And the 3 work together in every situation as we respond to what's happening in our story and we make sense of it. So let's look at each of those techniques. The first technique, put the reader in your head. Let us know your thoughts. Letting the reader into your thoughts is a writing technique called interiority, otherwise known as internal writing or subjective writing. The plot, the happening in your story is the external writing. What makes story is this internal writing, this technique of sharing your thoughts, of letting the reader in behind the scenes. This is the layer of story that is focused on the character arc versus the narrative arc. Very often they work in tandem. And the character arc is what happens in you. The narrative arc is what happens to you. They work together, but the real story resides in the character arc, that interiority. I have a video on interiority, on interior telling. So I'm going to link it here, but also look for it on my YouTube channel in the free mini course on show and tell. Writing technique number 2 to hook and hold your reader is put your reader in your skin. This means get emotion on the page. We need to know how you feel at every turn in your memoir. It is not enough in writing your memoir to give us what I call a summation emotion. A summation emotion is when you write, I was depressed, I felt sad, I was overjoyed, I was absolutely thrilled. Whenever you find yourself writing a summation emotion on the page, that is the time to stop, to have a look at it, and to go deeper. And I'm going to illustrate for you how, as the writer, you go deeper in exploring this emotion. And in exploring this emotion, it's all about actually coming to know yourself better. The whole focus of writing a memoir primarily is to know yourself and your own story better. And then we give the reader this immersive experience once we've explored it for ourselves. So let's look at a very common emotion that we can explore that most of us will have experienced in some shape or form. It's about being happy at a wedding. And I'm going to say, I am happy at my wedding. And the way you go deeper into your emotions is to continually ask yourself, why? Why am I happy at my wedding? Well, at first blush, it seems obvious. I'm happy to be getting married. Why? Well, I found a life partner. because I don't want to be lonely, and because he esteems me. Oh, why is that important to me? It's important to me because I've often felt the wallflower. I was the teenager who was always in the background with the friends who were more popular, more attractive, more interesting. And so I would always be in the background, and I wondered if anybody would ever find me interesting or likable. And so now I have a husband, and he finds me interesting and likable. That's important to me. Why? Why were you the wallflower? Do you see how we're going back? We're going through the deeper layers. Well, I was a wallflower because I didn't think I was anything special. Why? Why? I guess I didn't think I was anything special because I was ignored at home. The attention went somebody else, to my more important sibling, to my prettier sister. And my father always ignored me and put attention elsewhere. He had fun names for the others in the family, but for me, he had a very dour name, and he called me Mousie. And this was reinforced as I grew up, and I was always in the shadows. I was always the quiet little bookworm, and everybody else was more vivacious and having exciting lives, and I was just trundling along. And now here am I have found somebody in my life, and I am happy. So you see those layers as we mine them to try and find out what is the deeper emotion, what is the deeper story here, or what appears to be a very surface emotion. Now, this is something you need to apply in order to reveal this to your reader, but you first need to know it for yourself. And that's the beauty of memoir. We get to explore these, and then we bring the reader alongside, inside, and we share this with them. It becomes an immersive experience for them. Now, I will say it's not always easy as the writer to go to these places. And when I read manuscripts of the memoir writers who I'm mentoring, I can tell when they have stopped doing this, when they are not going deeper with the emotion, they're not putting the emotion on the page, and they're not creating the immersive experience for the reader. And this is how I know. One, they start to skim the surface. The story is very shallow because there is no depth. There's no going deeper. There's no interiority, no bringing the reader behind the scenes. When the story skims the surface, it goes much faster. The pace picks up because we're rushing through. And that then gives us a list of happenings. Instead of bringing us into scenes, they start to give us a list of happenings of what happened. And the scenes become few and far between, almost non-existent. And the writer starts to talk at the reader. This is what happened, then I did this, and then this happened, and then this happened. And that is pure example of what happens to the story when we hold back on putting emotion on the page and we rely on summation emotions. Rather write fewer, deeper scenes that create that immersive experience for the reader than a large collection of shallow happenings. Your writing will be better for it. Okay, writing technique number 3, put the reader in your eyeballs, which means to put them behind the crystalline lens of your eye. And this lens in the eye is a great illustration because it is how you see the world. It is your subjective lens about life. Your worldview, your subjective lens plays out on every page of your memoir. And I'm going to illustrate this for you very simply with regard to your family motto. Think about it. Take a moment and just think now, what is a family motto that governed your family and then governed your life going forward? I'm going to use an example of a family motto we grew up with, which I think a lot of families grew up with it, and it's called, what happens at home stays at home. And if we take that family motto, what happens at home stays at home, it governs our worldview, it governs our belief system, it governs our subjective lens. And it does that by we would need to, in our memoir, look at why did that family motto exist? What was happening at home that needed to stay at home? What did we feel about it? How did we make sense of it? What did we understand by it? What was the first scene when we remember that family motto being affirmed in our family? There is this family motto that we live by. How did it play out as you grew up? When you became a teenager, did you still embrace that family motto? Did you rebel against it? What did that look like? If you embraced it, how long did you embrace it before you started to realize that it no longer fit for you? Or if you rebelled against it, did you later come to understand that it actually was a good family motto and you want to embrace it again? Or is it a family motto like mine, where I realized through my life how it governed my life, how it shaped my life, how I made choices because of this family motto, until I realized I needed to find another family motto. I needed to replace it with another motto. And the motto I replaced it with is this one: that what you bring into the light loses its power over you. And so I could, with those two mottos, write my entire memoir, and so could you. And that is the worldview we need to bring the reader into. So what is your worldview? How do you write it? How does it show up on your page? How does it influence your story? These are the things we want to share with the reader, so we can create this immersive virtual reality experience for them that will hook them and hold them from the first to the last page. If you're looking for help with that structure of your memoir, with all that needs to be dealt with between the first and the last page, don't forget to have a look at my link below on the Create Your Memoir Blueprint from Premise to Promise. Otherwise, I will see you in my next video or in my next short.